Hello everyone, my name is Amit Kumar Bose. I'm a faculty of Indian Society, Social Justice, International Relations and Internal Security, and have been teaching with a number of leading institutes in Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, God in Bhubaneswar for last quite a few years now. Here in this video, I'll be talking about Indian society and social justice, the topic of Indian society and social justice. Now, as the name suggests, there are two parts of this topic. Indian society, part 1, and social justice, that's part 2. Indian society is actually part of the GS Mains Paper 1 syllabus, whereas social justice is understood to be part of the GS Mains Paper 2 syllabus. Now, why are we then taking up these two topics together? The reason is, I'll also like to give you the backdrop of the reason. Before 2013, before the syllabus was revised in 2013, these two topics, they were covered under the same heading, that is social issues. Today, they have been separated and they have been specifically placed under two particular syllabuses. Indian society in the syllabus of GS Mains Paper 1, which deals with the problems and issues of Indian society. On the other hand, social justice, which is part of GS Mains Paper 2, talks about the remedial measures, whether taken by the administrative mechanism of India, they are talked about in social justice section. Now, the very foundation of these remedial measures, that foundation lies in our constitution. Okay. So it is primarily because of that this section, social justice section, has been covered under GS Mains Paper 2 along with Polity and Governance, the area which is dealing with the constitution. Okay. Now, in this backdrop, I would also like to look into the strategy, how to approach, that is, this particular topic. Here, I must admit that the syllabus given by UPSC is indicative at best. Okay. Say, for example, UPSC talks about salient features of Indian society. And then also in the syllabus only, they highlight the notion of unity within diversity. Okay, they primarily focus on the notion of unity within diversity. But if you look at the previous year's questions, you will see that the questions are covering the topic, salient features of Indian society, pretty holistically. Similarly, in syllabus, they have mentioned role of women and women's organizations in India. But if you look at the topic, if you look at the previous year's questions, the questions they focus on the 19th century social reforms, then discrimination against women, violence against women, all these things. And also in part of social justice is women's rights. Okay. Similarly, if we look into the issues like child rights, juvenile justice, then the issue of Divyang or persons with disabilities. Okay. These issues, they are also covered, but they are not specifically mentioned in the syllabus. Whereas some of the topics like poverty alleviation or poverty, hunger, development, at the same time, urbanization, issues of urbanization, they have been sufficiently highlighted in the syllabus. Okay. So, in a sense, the syllabus talks about certain aspects. On the other hand, the syllabus misses to mention number of things. Okay. But you cannot go this way. What you have to do, you have to sit down quietly. You have to work on the syllabus. You have to prepare a holistic syllabus and then approach the subject. That challenge lies on your part. Now, simultaneously, I would also be talking about the sources. Well, there are a number of books available in the market, say Indian Social Problems by G.R. Madan, then Ram Ahuja. Number of these books are available. There are lots of materials as well available. What I would suggest is go through the Indian Social Problems section of NCERT class 12. Okay, in class 12 NCERT there is one particular book on Indian social problems. Go through that first. Once you're through that particular book, then take up Yojana magazine and the OPED section of the Hindu. Have the syllabus with you ready and then go through these materials. what you will find that number of issues which are being covered in Yojana or which are being covered in the OPD section of the Hindu, you will find them to be relevant with your syllabus, if the syllabus is prepared holistically. Okay? That is the best possible source for you. Why am I saying so? Number one, the books which are available, say Ram Ahuja or G.R. Madan, these books, they are actually books of sociology. So they go very in-depth in their analysis, whereas they are not dynamic sufficiently enough. Okay. On the other hand, now what I mean by dynamic, not being dynamic. Say very recently, one issue came up in news that is about permanent commissioning of women in Indian Armed Forces. The Supreme Court gave its judgment in that respect. Don't think this topic would be covered in those books. Obviously not. Then comes Sabrimala issue. Then comes the issue of instant triple talaq. Number of issues are going on, which are ongoing issues in the society. And a number of fresh issues are also coming up. Right? So this way, these issues, they are not being covered properly by those books. On the other hand, there are materials. There are sufficient amount of materials. In fact, there is overload of materials prepared by various institutes, prepared by various online platforms. But most of these materials are qualitatively very inferior. They hardly meet the demand of the examination. So, though there is an overload of materials, but hardly any of these materials, they help us to reach that level. Given that, I would be focusing only on that NCERT, Yojana and the OPD section of the Hindu. Okay. Simultaneously, this is not only about the source, but also about the drawback of the topic. This is the drawback of the topic. Okay. Drawback means the lack of availability of quality material. That's what I was focusing on. Additionally, I would also be highlighting on this aspect ki, since the topic is very dynamic, what we see, given the implications of the issues covered under this topic, every year, at least one essay would be asked from this topic or would be asked in correlation with this topic in the essay paper. Now here, see the coverage, the holistic coverage of this topic in the syllabus. In essay paper, you'll have at least one topic. Okay, so 125 marks goes there. In GS Mains paper 1, 3 questions of 10 markers and 3 questions of 15 markers. That means at least 75 marks of topics would be from this section out of the 250 marks. Okay. And even in GS Mains paper 2, social justice covers a considerable portion. Okay, at least 4 or 5 questions would be there, which would be correlating the provisions of the constitution along with the issues of social justice. So this way you can understand the weightage of this section in the syllabus. Okay. Now there is also one, you can call it a myth or something of that sort. People they say that to cover this topic properly, you need a background. It's better if you're having sociology as an optional, or if you're from the sociology background, then it helps you to understand, to go through this topic better. Well, no. All of us, we are born in this society. Okay. We know our society considerably well. If we are keeping our ears and eyes open, we would be obviously understanding the issues which are coming up in the recent times, and we'll be able to cover them. We'll be able to cover them from the source I mentioned, the Yojana magazine and the OPD page of the Hindu. Okay. If we can do that properly, if we can do this sincerely, our purpose will be fulfilled. In this video, I would like to, I think I have been sufficiently able to justify with the topic that I raised. That's all. Thank you.